corpse. Gas noise.
Okay, so once again, there's no flash, right? You guys are like not being blinded. Okay, so Izzy's and maybe Clara's take on the world, part 3. 3 videos one day. Wow, that must be a record. Okay, so just for clarification, these questions are unrehearsed. Their answers are not being filtered. It's truly what these 2 girls think and feel. So here's an easy question for you. What is the #1 video game that's out there? Like I got us out of all the video games that you guys have played. And why? She's looking for help. She's like, ask a friend. Literally, ask a friend.
There's plenty.
Let's consult with the others.
Of good games.
We need to talk for a moment.
So, I guess there are some occasions where Fortnite could be a good game, according to like teamwork. But it's pretty toxic. People can get pretty toxic. And
So once again, is Clara is the invisible guest. She does not want to appear on camera. So if you hear her voice, it's not being like fakely recorded or anything like that. This is an actual person, and she is in 6th grade. Woohoo! Okay, so Clara thinks Fortnite.
well, I don't really think Fortnite. I'm just considering games that I know that are pretty popular.
All right, so like, how about like Clash Royale? Do you guys like Clash of Clans, Minecraft? You know, let's talk about some serious.
I like Roblox, adopt me.
Oh, you like Roblox, huh?
Yes.
You're like
Cute
on
animals.
Honestly, I personally like Animal Crossing. That's my personal. Because there's like so many things you can do, and there's like so many things you can make. You like decorate your house, and you get these little cute villagers. Honestly, my personal favorites are the octopuses.
So, okay, so we'll take that to a new spin. So, you know, there's a lot of heat about video games and how people can use video games to like trick kids into, you know, meeting up with strangers because you don't know who's on the other side of their, like, what is it, avatar or whatever. So, what do you think about predators using video games to lure kids into dangerous situations?
Well, I personally feel like it's just simple. There are certain things you shouldn't do, and meeting up with strangers is one of them. I feel that that's just, you know, known. I feel that parents should say, hey, they should let their kids know, don't hang out with strangers, just don't do it, or at least have some kind of boundaries with strangers. It's okay to have a personal life, but like I said, I think there needs to be like some kind of.
So you guys have been doing online video games for quite a long time. Has there ever been a situation where you were concerned that someone was like creeping on you through?
No, not really.
No, you feel like pretty much everybody is legit 100% who they say they are?
I mean, like, well, not that, but like, no one's really like try to like be like a predator like to me or just like try to get any like personal info.
I have no personal experiences of this. I know that could happen. I personally haven't had those kind of experiences though.
So you feel the #1 way of staying safe from, you know, potential child predators using like avatars and stuff like that on video games is just don't do it, right? Is that your takeaway?
Well,
like, don't meet up with strangers.
Well, yeah, I mean, I feel like that's just obvious. If you don't know who that person is behind that screen, and it's like, I don't know how that, you know, I can understand that people are young and vulnerable, but I feel like for me right now at this age, it's common sense that meeting up with someone would be dangerous. If this guy could be Billy Bob Joe behind that camera with a beer stain and a beer belly, it's like, get your nasty hands off me, Billy Bob Bo, or Billy Bob Joe. I don't care what your name is. I don't want you near me, around me, at the side of me, behind me.
So you're like, don't trust the avatar, don't trust the people. Like, just.
It's like, it's okay to trust those people, but you know, there needs to be a limit. You need to know that there is only so much you can trust and believe in.
What do you think, Clara? Like, what's your...
I mean, I personally think that you should only talk to people that you know, in, like, real life. People that you actually can trust, like people that you've met them before and you know that they're good people.
So
Like friends, like from school or something. I don't know.
so don't invite strangers into your like game group, basically.
Yeah.
Okay, well that's a smart move. Yep, can't disagree with that. So have you guys ever gotten scammed out of say like what is it, Roblox dollars or whatever by other players?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You have?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you know the people or were you playing with strangers?
Strangers. For me, I trusted people too much. I thought everyone was good, and I guess I just like to see the best in people. I don't like thinking of someone as bad, and even if they are bad, I try to see the good in others.
And what was your lesson learned?
Well, for me, I mean, it's just be careful. I mean, and what I thought is that if someone's willing to scam to get that, then they must have been really desperate. And I mean, they wanted it more than me because I wouldn't do that. So I thought, well, if they were willing to do that, I'll just work my way up again. I will work harder. I will do it again because lesson learned. You just keep working hard. If you let the bad things in life get you down, then how are you going to move forward?
Okay, so Clara, how about you?
mean, I've never really been like actually scammed, I guess. Like I've been like kind of like fake scammed by like friends. Like they'll like leave the game as a joke with like a pet that I have that's pretty like good or something, and then they'll like rejoin and like give it back to me. So like I've never really like people that I know in real life, but.
So you pretty much play with people that you know in real life, and so if somebody tries to take something from you, then you can go bust their kneecaps at, recess and get,
Swiss cheese their car.
right, or like,
Or
trip them in the hallway. Just kidding, don't do that. People don't do that. But just saying.
I won't hesitate to do that.
Not in front of the teachers.
Right.
Wait.
This is actually on video. You don't say that. Shh, go ahead. Talk to the lawyer. That's what you need to say. Get my lawyer involved. So video games, you're like Roblox, woohoo, and Fortnite, and any other games that you feel like are going to go down in the history of video games?
Animal Crossing, it's pretty popular.
I really don't think I feel like at some point there's always going to be some popular game, but I'm not sure because I think every game has that one moment where they are popular. I just don't think all of them are going to stay popular or have some kind of important moment in history.
So you feel like they all have like a season and then they retire and a new game comes and it takes the thunder.
Yeah, pretty much. And some come back, some don't. I think everyone had I think all games they all have lots of them have good lessons, and I mean, or interesting. I mean, it just depends on how you take that game. And
what's a lesson that you guys think that every person should know? Like growing up at the wise age of 12, what do you think a lesson, like, let me rephrase this. What's the most valuable lesson you guys have learned so far?
Probably not to like trust everyone. I mean, there's like plenty of terrible people that exist in our world. They're waste of oxygen.
well, that's really hard because I think there are lots of important lessons. So I guess I'll give a 2 to 3. One of them is that there are always going to be people who are going to speak badly about you or try to find something they don't like about you, because that's what everybody does. There's always going to be that one person who's going to say one bad comment that'll get at you for maybe days to weeks that you'll think about for so long because it actually got to you, because it might have hurt you because that's something you're insecure about. But I think it's important to know that you shouldn't let those bad comments define you or make that a part of who you are. Because, I mean, if you keep looking at the mirror every day and you say something like, or you look at something that's considered unattractive in modern society, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's bad. It's just that you have to embrace the, I guess, flaws about you.
Okay, so be accepting, more accepting to yourself, right? Okay, so that's a really big takeaway. Accept you for who you are. And just because someone sees it as a flaw doesn't mean it really is a flaw. You know, don't let the haters bring you down, right? Okay, so that's a really good, important lesson. I think you're really smart on that one. What other lesson do you feel? You said you had 2 or 3. Is that like 2 or 3 condensed into one?
Let me see here. What do you think? I had one. Let me just
Gather your thoughts.
I also feel really strongly about respecting others, just in general. Even if someone, like, I heard this one story about someone. Well, I guess don't jump to conclusions, because I heard this story about a girl, and at school she was having these buddies, right? They're secret buddies, I guess, is what they call them, something like that. And she got these gifts, and then one day these girls were gossiping about the gifts she was getting and talking about how they were bad and awful, and they were secret, right? But it turns out after those girls left, she heard crying in a stall, and that buddy overheard her and apologized, and that person was living in it was poverty, right? They weren't as lucky as others, I guess, to have that kind of.
So are you trying to say like that some gifts to some people mean more than others, and you shouldn't make fun of people for?
I'm saying don't jump to conclusions, because you don't know someone's situation, and it's just like, why not be grateful that you at least got something, that at least they tried, they put in effort. It doesn't, just because it just bothers me personally. It's upsetting to me that people jump to conclusions and they don't think about the situation. They just act on, it's impulsive, they act on emotion. Or she jumped to conclusions, like she doesn't know her buddy's situation or living situation or what's going on at home for that person.
Okay, that's a good point. Clara, did you have any life lessons that you feel are super, like, that you've learned that you feel really important?
I mean, like, it's kind of related to what Isabel said, like just, someone could be like, you shouldn't really, like, be mean to people, because, like, or, like, bully them for, like, a certain, like, reason, like, if they, like, for a certain way they look, or just, like something they do, or if they have, like, a disability, or they're, like, missing a limb, because they could be going through really any struggle, like, in life, like, they could, like, anything could happen, like, they might, I mean, I don't know, really, but anything could be happening to them. You don't know what's going on behind the scenes of their life.
Fair point. Good.
And then also, bullying, I know, can drive people to suicide, which is a terrible thing.
So you guys are pretty young. I'm guessing that you don't know anybody who's ever thought about committing suicide. Do you know of people in your class?
Well, not in my class, but I know someone that's part of my mom's friend's family who did commit suicide.
So it's something that you're familiar with on a personal level. And for clarification, you're 12 too, right?
No.
You're 11.
Yeah.
So, for kids your age, do you guys know of kids that have ever contemplated or thought about committing suicide?
Mm-hmm.
You do?
Mm-hmm.
So what would you say to kids who get so upset or sad or distressed or, are going through such a hard time? What advice do you have for kids your age?
I'd say that if you are feeling upset that you feel the need to take your life, then I feel like you need to talk to somebody. Tell somebody how you feel. Maybe you could get help. I'm not saying pills are going to solve all your problems. I'm not saying that talking to people will solve all your problems all the time either. But I'm saying maybe at least try before doing something like that. You know, at least I'm not. I guess what I'm saying is I want to sit that person down and say, hey, you can talk to me about these things. That please don't do this yet.
Right. There's always options, right? There's people that care, even if you don't feel that. So, if you had a friend who was considering that, what would you guys do for advice? Besides telling them, like, if there was a kid at school that you know personally that was like considering suicide, what would you do for that friend?
I mean, I would probably have like a one-on-one discussion with them. I mean, like people have long to live. They have many things to live for. People care about them, and if they do that, like they're like they think that that's gonna make everyone happy if they end their lives, but really it's just gonna make everyone.
Okay, so I'll interject for you guys. If you ever find a friend that is thinking about committing suicide, you need to talk to an adult, like a teacher or your parents. And it would need to happen immediately because that kid needs help. And even though you guys are smart and I'm sure you guys would give great advice, make sure you reach out to an adult. Okay?
Well, yeah, because I mean, or maybe the 1-800 suicide hotline.
Exactly. Yeah, I'll put that number in the messages on here because it I think a lot of times as an adult we don't look at children as being in a situation where they're vulnerable or they're thinking about that, especially at 12 or 13. But things are stressful, not just for adults but for kids, especially right now this year, especially with COVID and the pandemic, and you're not being able to hang out with your friends as much. You're not able to socialize through school. So I think you guys have got definitely great advice, but definitely don't leave it upon yourself. If you have a friend that's considering that, you make sure to tell a teacher, to tell a principal, to tell a parent, and of course, the suicide line. I don't know if a 12-year-old would call the suicide line, but if, just follow up, okay? All right, excellent. Super, super serious question. Like, wow, I didn't even think that at your age, you guys would be experienced with that. So, gosh, I don't know if I can think of a question. Let's think of an awesome question. For Halloween, what was your favorite part about your trick-or-treating or lack of trick-or-treating?
Well, for me, I personally enjoyed the bonding with people. I feel like those are one of the most important things to me. Getting to spend time with others, even if it is a little bit of time. It's the little things in life that I think have the biggest impact on you, even if you don't notice it sometimes. So I feel like hanging out with my friends was
the best part.
Because I felt really happy. It made me happy that I'm grateful for the people I have around me.
Okay, Clara, what about you? What was your favorite part of Halloween?
I personally just I liked having this instead of going trick or treating, because I didn't really think it was a good idea to go because of the whole COVID situation. I enjoyed staying home with my friends, eating candy and watching horror movies. And laying down on the floor with a bunch of blankets and pillows.
So this Thanksgiving and Christmas might be different for a lot of people, especially since COVID, and people are going to try to be more socially responsible and not necessarily travel. So, gosh, if you had the perfect Christmas and Thanksgiving this year, what would you feel would be the perfect Thanksgiving and Christmas, considering you might not be able to spend it with as many friends or family?
I feel that, I mean, just being the perfect Christmas or Thanksgiving for me would just be being able to at least spend it with somebody, like a family member. And I just want to enjoy my time with somebody. I enjoy people's company.
Okay, and Clara, how about you? So, let's see. If you can't necessarily say go to Wisconsin because of the COVID situation and maybe your dad can't come here, what would be a perfect alternative?
Well, like, I'm pretty sure my mom has, like iMessenger or something, and she can FaceTime him through there. Or I can FaceTime him through my stepmom's phone.
So you guys get to, like, at least spend some time together, even if you're not together.
Mm-hmm. We also have, like, these little, like, kind of, like, bracelet things, and, like, if, like, one of us touches it, it'll, like, vibrate, and it'll, like, connect to the other person's.
Oh, that's super cool.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, if you touch it, then he knows that you're thinking about him.
Mm-hmm. And we'll, like, do, like, little, like, I guess, like, I'm not really sure what to call it. Kind of, like, or, like, I guess, like, little messages, like, through little beeps.
Oh, cool.
So, like, we'll, like...
So you can stay in contact with each other pretty much all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. All right, so we're going to end this video. Yay, you guys, great job. Good insights. Appreciate your taking the time. And if you want to say goodbye.
Bye, brothers and sisters.
Bye.